Okay, welcome back to the channel. Last time we talked about advanced placement and dual enrollment courses. Today we're going to be talking about how I earned 42 credits in just 1 year. Less than a year, actually. So this was done my senior year of high school. I was just coming off of COVID. This was 2020. So during that summer, I was able to take one class that was condensed. It was, I believe, 8 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't remember exactly. But this was a math class, and I had to purchase an online textbook. You guys are familiar with Pearson, McGraw, those types of things. So I had to purchase an e-textbook, which I had to do my homeworks, exams, testing on that application. You essentially pay like $120. It's really expensive just for a tool that's used online. Point is, me being stubborn as I am, I decided that I was going to finish it within the free 2-week trial period. This was done so I wouldn't have to pay it. So the way this works is, in order to receive the credit for it, you have to get pretty much a C, right, for it to transfer. So that being said, I wanted to save my costs, and I was just being stubborn and lazy. So I decided to finish the course in 2 weeks. This was done by pretty much working on it at 2 o'clock in the morning, where it was just quiet. That's the best time for me to work, honestly. Or at least it depends. It still is to this day, pretty much. But that said, I was able to save 120, 150 bucks across, just 2 weeks. So that being said, the first course I took was Pre-Calculus 1. Now, this Pre-Calculus 1, mind you, was taken after I had already taken a Pre-Calculus course my junior year. That Pre-Calculus course, however, did not attain me college credits, so I took it during the summer. And to no surprise, I didn't exactly do the best because I kind of rushed it, right? So I ended up getting a C in that class. And I mean, for me, I don't really have any sort of regret on that, obviously, because I'm here in the position that I am now. But keep in mind, you guys should value your grades more than just being stubborn and try to complete something early and just being done with it, trying to save costs, right? I took on that risk for myself where I was just like, okay, I just need this. So it sounds bad, but it wasn't really a class that I really cared too much about because I had already done it and it was just like rushed. So that being said, going into fall semester, I took, how many credits did I take this term? I took 17 credits fall semester. So this was done through dual enrollment English and dual enrollment chemistry. My high school offered both courses where a teacher was within the building. Dual enrollment English, I received 9 total credits across the entire year because it gave me 3 courses, whereas dual enrollment chemistry gave me 8 credits, organic and inorganic. 1 semester, 2nd semester. Pretty simple to follow, right? So that being said, I took Chemistry 1, Comp 1, Pre-Calc 2. I took a political class. I took psychology, as well as a college success skills. College success skills basically just teaches time management, teaches you different tools. It's pretty simple. It's like 1 credit. It's just like an introductory into the college lifestyle and just how to manage everything, how to use your resources, essentially, just the processes of everything. So pretty easy class. If you're ever interested in that, maybe look into a college success skills, because not only does it teach you time management, but it teaches you resources. So that said, going into spring semester, I took 22 credits. So 22 credits is a lot, needless to say. Typically, your cutoff is 18 credits at a college. I was able to go above this because I had approval from not only the principal of my high school, but I also had to get approval from the dean of the community college. So this kind of worked weird because my explanation for this was, hey, so I'm taking classes that are condensed 8-week, 5 weeks, and at this time I'm a senior, so I'm having early release. I'm literally leaving class like 10. I'm leaving at like 10:30 in the morning, something like that. I only have the 5 classes because I'm an athlete. Here in Virginia, you basically have to take 5 classes in order to play sports. So that said, I took my 5 classes, bare minimum, but On my high school transcript, you'll see that it only has 3 high school classes, pretty much, I think, sort of. So it's kind of weird. So the way it works is my high school had an agreement with me that in order to receive high school credit and dual enrollment credit for a class, I had to take 2 semester courses of a college course in order for it to count as a full year of a high school course. This is pretty much just to be said, hey, you're enrolled the entire time, essentially. Because if I took just one class, that's only half a semester within, or that's only 1 semester in college, right? So I wouldn't have really reached that whole year in order for me to play sports. So the argument that I pretty much made in order to do the 22 credits, I was like, hey, this isn't really any sort of addition load. This is replacing classes that I would have taken. These courses are 8 weeks, 5 weeks. I will never be taking 22 credits in one point at the same time, if that makes sense, because you have the first 5 weeks and then you have the second 5 weeks, or the first 8 and the second 8, right? So these are split during the semester, so they're never to be taken at the same time. So I pretty much use that as my argument to be able to take 22 credits. Needless to say, it was a lot. But like I said, mind you, out of 42 credits that I took in high school, 9 of them were English credits that were offered at my school. So this was just pretty much like a regular English class. It just replaced the traditional English you take, right? So I'm in the class, everything's pretty much normal. Chemistry, same thing, except it was 8 credits. Chemistry 1, chemistry 2. So when you look at it like that, it's really not a lot, right? 2 classes basically got me what? I had 8 credits for one class, 9 credits for another. So it had me like 17, right? It's truly not a lot. It's really not. When you look at it like that, it's just trying to be flexible and trying to see what loopholes you can work your way around. While many people may think that 42 credits is a lot, when I actually break it down to you in terms of how it actually was organized and ran, it's truly not a lot. It just kind of replaced the typical high school schedule. This was a time during COVID where I had school like every other day. So I went twice a week, I believe, for a short period of time. So I really had a lot of flexibility within my time. And for me, what I found best was finishing courses early. I would always take the shortest option possible, whether that was 8 weeks or 5 weeks. This allowed me to take more classes during that semester because I could take one class the first 8 weeks. I could take a second class the second 8 weeks, right? The front half of the semester, back half of the semester. This allows you to take more credits within a short period of time. In addition to that, you actually do not get as much assignments. So because it's condensed, teachers understand that there's not as much time to complete assignments. So sometimes they'll actually reduce that number that you have to turn in. And this just helped me a lot, truly, because like I said, I didn't have to do as much. While yes, I'm making that effort to get everything done in a quicker time, it was still less work at the end of the day. And for me, like I said, I found it easier to complete everything as early as I can. So there'd be times where I would finish a class within 2 weeks, sometimes less, actually. And I just found that that worked out best for my schedule because I liked having flexibility in my schedule. I preferred getting a lot done within the first half of the semester and just freeing up all that time. I'm a person who procrastinates a lot, believe it or not, as much as this may seem like I don't. I truly procrastinate a lot. So that being said, my solution for that is to try to get everything done early on. I'm still trying to reach that middle, but typically I either get something done super early and just knock it all out the way, or else I procrastinate and I start to get close to deadlines, which I don't really like because it puts stress on me. Um, so yeah, it's just a lot. So the best solution for me was just get it done. Right, this offered me a lot of flexibility. Um, Now, as far as the specific classes I took, you guys may be asking, okay, why didn't you get an associate's degree? Or, there's a lot of other videos where people are like, I got my associate's degree, this and that, right? So for me, At one point, I had wanted to do PT. I was looking into a particular school, and I looked at the requirements that they needed in order to graduate with that degree. So I pretty much used that school as a baseline of what classes I needed to take to get enrolled into the program. Not even get enrolled into the program, rather, to complete the degree requirements, right? So I pretty much looked at it from the general requirements. So I took my math, science, English, got those out the way, my history, just I took the generals out the way first. And then I got into a little bit deeper into the things that I wanted to do that interested me, the psychology, that had a lot to do with it. Um, and yeah, so I took specific classes geared towards that. When you're doing an associate's degree, you're paying for 60 credits that you may not need. You may only need about 40 credits like I did, or even less sometimes. Like a lot of those generals are not going to add up to 60. Some of those classes you strictly just do not need. And I didn't feel like paying my own money for classes I didn't need when I knew the end goal was to get a bachelor's degree, right? So that being said, I was able to save money by not getting an associate's degree while taking classes that I knew was specific to something that I wanted to do. Now, mind you, did that change? Yes, obviously, as I'm a business major now, but it still allowed me to take those generals that ended up just cutting down my time here in college. And I found value in the courses that I was taking. They were classes that I wanted to take. They weren't something that was just assigned to me, right? Um, so keep in mind when you guys are going for your associate's degree that you're still paying a lot of money. You're still paying a lot of money, and it just depends, how much expense do you want to actually put towards that. During my time in high school, all of the credits that you see now were either funded by my school with the dual enrollment courses in which the teachers were in person, so my English, my chemistry, and if they weren't funded through the school, I actually paid for these credits. I worked, and I had to pay for these credits while I was in school, and that was something that I wanted to do myself. I had the ability to receive help, but I just didn't want to put that onto someone else. I'm someone who wants to do everything myself and just try to be independent as much as I can. So that being said, if you are in the same position as I am, where you're paying for your own credits and everything, keep in mind that you don't want to waste your money towards courses that aren't going to benefit you, aren't going to provide some sort of value to you, right? So at the end of the day, that's why I took 42 credits within that year. Something that I regret is not having done this earlier. The only reason I didn't really get to do this earlier was because I was told I had to take AP classes, AP classes, AP classes. I did end up taking several AP classes, I believe, my sophomore year. And to, yeah, to sum it up, it did not go well. I performed well in the classes. I actually had A's in the class. But when it came time to test, I'm not someone who can always test. And even so, it was just a lot. So that test, I did not receive college credits for it. And after that year, I pretty much just had more freedom and voice and what I wanted to do myself. I had been telling my counselor, as well as just, the school, and just trying to communicate that, hey, I believe dual enrollment classes are the best route for me. I know that AP classes may be, better in terms of some people's eyes, but I don't think the AP classes are the best route for me. So keep in mind, 42 credits that I earned was done in 1 year. I'm sure you can only imagine what would have happened had I started my freshman year. It would have reduced either the load on me, or else I could have nearly doubled the amount of credits I had. So that being said, try to communicate as best as you can to your counselors, your parents, anyone who's trying to tell you that something you've thought of. If it's not being considered, try to communicate it as best as you can. Don't let them hinder you because of your age. That was a position where I suffered just because I was younger than those I was speaking to. It just didn't give me as much voice, but do your best not to let that happen. Now, obviously, take advice, take critical advice. Those that are older sometimes will have, more wisdom, more experience and such. So don't take their words lightly. but at the same time, try to communicate effectively your needs, as well as tell them why something isn't going to work their within the words that they say, right? So try to give them a reason. Don't necessarily just say, "No, I want to do this." Try to back it up with reason. So that's truly the best advice I'd say is communication, but not only communication, reason. You have to be able to provide like evidence as to why you should be able to do something, especially at such a young age. You kind of need that reason in order to build credibility and to build, a sense of trust within that. So that being said, that is how I earned 42 credits across 1 year. And now that has put me in a position to graduate 2 years early this upcoming May. Um, so yeah, I hope this video has helped you guys. If you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comment. I do not mind elaborating on my experience anymore. If there's something you guys want me to cover a little bit more specifically, if something where I wasn't explicit enough, please let me know in the comments. For now, I'll see you guys later. Bye.